The Honda Civic name really needs no introduction. Traditionally, it's been one of the most commonly seen cars on our roads. However, in the recent years, since the 10th generation model was launched in 2015, we've seen plenty more of its competition around. Cars like the Hyundai Avante, the Kia Cerato, the Mazda 3, and of course, the Toyota Altis as well. This new 11th generation model, will it stand out amidst this really tough crowd? Welcome back to Ashikama Reviews, and today we're driving the all-new Honda Civic. I think it's fair to say that the design of the 10th generation Civic definitely divided opinions, what with its elongated body and some very bold design choices. Now with this new one, you can still see echoes of that 10th gen Civic. However, Honda has essentially smoothed out some of the details and made the car look quite a bit more mature. So for example, at the front where you used to have a chrome strip across the nose of the car, now you just get this black plastic thing. And overall, I think it makes the car look a little bit more grown up, a little bit less in your face visually, and I think it looks like a nicer car. Now if we move on to the back, so the predecessor model had those very big distinctive C-shaped taillights, and this one now you get a much simpler looking design. Honestly, I think it's a better looking car. It's a little bit more pleasant, a little bit more forgiving on the eyes in that sense. And yeah, again, it speaks to that more mature look of this car. Now if we go check out the boot, so here we have a 493 litre boot. It's actually a little bit smaller than the outgoing model. However, it's still perfectly sizable, right? You can easily fit the anti-trolley and we can fit the giant luggage as well. So, you know, it's perfectly sized for a standard size family. Now, let's go check out the inside of the car. The Honda Civic is priced at $125,099. The 1.5 litre turbocharged engine produces 127 brake horsepower and 180 Nm of torque. The CVT transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km/h in 10.7 seconds. For more details on the Honda Civic or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make a smart choice on your next car. Here in the rear of the Civic, I think the first thing you will notice is the fact that there is a lot of space. So this is my standard driving position and I have tons and tons of legroom and a good amount of headroom as well. So you know, it's nice and comfortable. You know, if I like really slouch, I can still not even be touching the front seat. I must also say these seats, they are very comfortable, they're very plush, you know, it's got nice leathers and a lot of cushioning. So yeah, it makes for a very comfortable rear cabin. Now if I slide onto the middle seat, again, I must say it's nice and comfortable. I like the fact that it's relatively flat so you don't feel like you're sitting elevated. And while we do have a transmission tunnel here, it's not super high, so you can actually get away with putting your feet up and, you know, sort of tucking a little bit. Or else, you know, I think there's plenty of space to easily fit 3 adults here. As far as equipment goes, not terribly much. You know, we have an aircon vents here, we have some ISOFIX points, and we have 2 cup holders here. But yeah, that's about it. So overall, yeah, it's a nice and comfortable cabin. Now let's go check out the front. Here in the front of the Civic, I think the first thing I want to talk about is comfort. So just like the seats in the back, these seats are really nice and plush and, you know, have plenty of cushioning. And I also like the design of the seats. You know, these side bolsters are quite tucked in and it actually grips you nice and it really sort of makes you feel tucked in. Additionally, the seats are also mounted quite low so you can actually sit really low, and I think it really helps with that feeling of being cocooned in this car. Additionally, on some of the key touch points like your sort of armrest on either side, you have very nice plush soft leather, and that's nice. As far as the rest of the materials are concerned, yes, you have quite a bit of like hard plastics everywhere, but you know, that's expected for a car in this class. However, if you like press down on the sort of dashboard areas, you actually can feel a little bit of cushioning or padding underneath, and that's nice. You know, that really helps to elevate the overall sense of quality in this cabin. As far as design is concerned, yes, we have this like funky honeycomb pattern grille here across the aircon vents and this like joystick thing to control the aircon, which is kind of fun and funky. Features wise, we have a partially digital dashboard, so the left side of the dashboard is digital. So using some of these steering mounted controls, you can change the display to show things like your range and fuel, your speed and time, your audio, etc. And of course, we have infotainment system. This is fairly standard for Honda. Nothing crazy. You know, it's functional, but yeah, thereabouts. One cool feature is that you have this blind spot monitoring system. So essentially, if you hit this button here, it actually pulls out an image on the infotainment screen, right? And this image actually comes from the camera on the left side mirror there, and it will actually show you what's on the left of the car. So the thinking behind this obviously is that, you know, on your right side, it's much easier to see, right? You can just lean out and see, or you can turn your head over your shoulder and see what's there. But obviously on the left side is a lot further away. So this gives you a convenient way of just making sure there's nothing in your blind spot. Additionally, if we're out on the road, if you just indicate left, it will also pull up the image. So this is useful for when you're driving and trying to make a left turn. What else? We have some aircon controls. We have two USB-A ports, a 12-volt socket, and a wireless charging pad. So all in all, not crazy in terms of equipment. You know, it's fairly, I would say, standard for its class, but I do like the elevated sense of comfort, of refinement, and just of quality all around. Alright, so let's take this car out for a spin and see how it feels on the road. Buying a used car can be a bit of a gamble, right? You don't know whether the car is in as good a condition as they say it is, or you don't know what's going to happen after a few months. So for real peace of mind, you want to look out for SG Carmart Warranty, which is supported by Tokio Marine. SG Carmart Warranty actually covers all labor and most expensive to get parts for up to $10,000. SG Carmart Warranty is available at most leading used car dealerships now, so when you are looking out for your next used car on sgcarmart.com, do look out for those that advertise with the warranty label. To find out more, do click the link in the description box below. So under the bonnet, we actually have a turbocharged 1.5 litre engine, and this is actually the same engine you'll find in the previous generation model. However, this one has been down-tuned to 127 brake horsepower and 180 Newton meters of torque. So this is actually important because with this output, this car actually falls into the Cat A COE band, and that's important, right, considering the prices of COE now. And previously, the 1.5 turbo Civic was a Cat B car, so with this being a Cat A car, obviously it brings the price down. And as far as the engine is concerned, I think it's a very nice and usable engine. There's not, like the numbers are not crazy, you know, obviously the 0 to 100 timing has gone up compared to the previous model, but I think this engine is very usable. There's a good sense of accelerative thrust. And I think more importantly, compared to what you'd find in this segment typically, right? You would normally find a 1.6 NA engine. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with those engines, I think no matter how good the rest of the car may be, with a 1.6 NA engine, I think there's no overlooking the fact that it's just not very powerful. And yeah, I like this change. I like this move towards turbo engines, and it really helps to elevate the sense of quality about the drive. And yeah, I think that sense of driving quality really comes to define this car. You know, the suspension is nice and pliant enough, but you know, still not overly soft. I think the steering is still very good. You know, Civics tend to have good steering, and this is no different. And yeah, it's quieter than before, and overall I think there's a greater sense of refinement and comfort to the way this car drives. Couple of things that maybe I'm not so keen on primarily is the CVT. This car uses a CVT, and yeah, you know, CVTs aren't the greatest thing in the world. They tend to hang around in revs that you may not want it to be, and makes a little bit more noise than you would want it to make. So yeah, I think that takes away from that sense of engagement and drivability a little bit. But you know, if you just drive this sensibly, I think it's something that you can sort of close one eye to, and yeah, just don't think too much. Another thing about the Civic now also is that it comes with a whole bunch of safety systems and driver assistance systems. So we have obviously like lane departure and also lane keep, so the car will actually steer to keep you in the middle of the lane. And also we have adaptive cruise control. So if I just turn on cruise control, you can actually set a distance from the car in front of you, and the car will take care of all your acceleration and braking for you. So yeah, that's handy, right? That really helps to elevate the overall sense of quality and refinement to the Civic. And I think that's nice. I think it really helps to elevate this car over the rest of its competition. So, the all-new Honda Civic, is it a will buy, won't buy, or go try? I think this is a go try. This Civic is priced at $125,000, which, if we're being honest, is a lot of money, right? It is quite pricey, and in its segment, it is by far actually the most expensive Cat A sedan. And if you're shopping strictly at a price point, then I think this might be a bit of a stretch because you have cars like the Cerato and the Avante which are asking for under 100 grand. However, you do have to try this car because once you get behind the wheel, it's then that you realize where the money has gone into, right? Beyond just improvements about how the car looks, I think the interior is definitely better. You've got a greater sense of refinement and comfort. It is ultimately on the road where you feel the difference, and it is on the road that this car sets itself apart from other cars. Firstly, obviously, you have the engine. It's a much more refined powertrain. It's a bit more prompt and a bit more lively than your other cars. And I think more than that is the overall sense of comfort and the quality about the way this car drives that I think, yes, you are getting your money's worth. If I'm being very honest, I don't know if the Civic will ever be as ubiquitous on our roads as it used to be, right? What with the way the market is shifting towards SUVs, towards EVs and whatsoever. However, with this 11th generation model, I think this Civic has as good a chance as you'll ever have. Is this new Honda Civic for you? Let us know in the comment section below, and also let us know what other cars you want to see us review as well. Do also like, share and subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to see more of our upcoming videos. And do remember to follow us on TikTok as well. Alright, I'll catch you soon. Bye!